homies, what's up everybody? The Khaiza is back once again, and we're back to this lovely layout because you can tell just like glancing over your eyes right down there, homies, the number one Sentai Gozyuger has finally landed, right? We got the first episode and we're gonna be doing a first episode impression. Yeah, man, we're doing a first episode impression of number 1 Sentai Gozyuger. So, number 1 Sentai Gozyuger has landed. It premiered 2 days ago. Yeah, literally 2 days ago. February 16th, 2025. Yeah, and there was even like I didn't like react to it or made like a Twitter, impression on it, but there was a Gozyuger episode Gozyuger episode 0. That's like, a little bit of like lore background before the first episode actually made its debut. But when I saw the first episode, I saw it as like the first like minute or like a minute and a half, I think. Yeah, it's just episode 0, right? It's just a little bit more with the, the Zords and everything. I liked the let's like just like get right onto it with like the episode, right? The episode begins, so like spoilers, right? For those who haven't watched episode 1 of number 1 Sentai Gozyuger, it is up online on, sites, right? But it is available, to watch, right? On like, wherever you toku fiends, including me, I love y'all, vacate to. The episode begins with an ominous force, right? We just call it like the darkness. Like as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, this is like some Kingdom Hearts looking ass like Heart of Darkness, this like giant like poof cloud of purple smoke that's, annihilating and defeating all of the Super Sentai Megazords from across time and space. There's like, graves of Boom Boom Jirobo, King Oger, Oni Taijin from Dawn Brothers, right? There's a holy metric ton of them. The Sentai Megazords were struggling until the legendary Tegasword appeared from the sky, and all of the Sentai swords lent their power to the Tegasword and transformed their energy into Sentai rings to quell and hopefully vanquish the darkness. But doing so, the Tegasword ran out of energy and fled to another world. And that's like the first few minutes, right, of Gozyuger, just setting up like, these supernatural things that the Gozyugers will face, right? This like ominous cloud from like the fucking sky. And so we transition to our quote-unquote hero, as we would like call them. He works at a convenience store and his name is Tono Hoeru, right? Tono Hoeru works at a convenience store with, fucking Taya, but not Taya because he is a different person, right? There was a robbery that happened, right? Some old man was like, stealing food and like terrorizing the people inside the store until like not Taya tries to like stand up and, fight him off, trying to be a hero, until Hoeru steps up and like, yo, this bitch ass is like stealing some hot dogs. Yo, get that shit out of here. Get that shit out of here. You don't steal hot dogs for free. You don't take. He's like, you don't understand the luxury of a hot dog that is so juicy, so hot, so moist, so warm. And so he uses the hot dog to, you know, fend off the robber, like splashing hot dog flavored water on his eyes. Very like, and bites his hand, and he even like asks like his like manager. Well, before that though, he was like a store like clerk that is like, it's kind of like the epitome of like Squidward, right? Thank you very much. You know, please come never. It's like, man, what? Like not tired says, why don't you put on a smile, you fucker? And then he gives the most hideous like smile like there is. It's like, ugh, right? But skip forward a little bit. Hoeru defeats the robber and asks for pay, but the manager says like, hell nah, you're fired. Like, I just saved your lives, but you're fired, son. Like, aw, man. And so he goes back to this cafe called Half a Century, which is, you know, cute because it stands for like 50 years, 50, right? And he's seen like filling out job applications for more jobs like on the hunt. He is the #1 part-timer. You see like a bit of his like, you know, personality here and there. Like when he exits out of Half a Century, he may look like brash like back in the convenience store, but he is like a good like person at heart, like playing with kids and like, you know, protecting them from like, you know, thugs and stuff, and talking with Not Tire and repaying his like debt for like, you know, some food. Like Not Taya gives him like a hamburger or a cheeseburger, right? And he says, yeah, thanks for the food, I'll pay you back with the exact change, 250 yen. Right? So we then see like Taya having like not Taya, talking about like dreams and wishes, and he asks Hoeru like, what's his like wish and dreams? Like, don't talk to me about wishes, bro. Like, I have some traumatic memories about like wishes. I had a bad dream about like a girl and like in the rain, right, taking me somewhere, you know. And all of a sudden, evil assholes from another like, you know, dimension named the Bryden, evil group of assholes, all like, as we talked about like in the Gozyuger like info panels, based on like, you know, weddings and shit. They come here, you know, proclaiming themselves as like saviors, but not really, as you see like all the carnage and destruction that's like going on. You know, they are apparently looking for some rings, right? Now, apparently they're looking into Tega Sword, and so they rampage through the city to get to the Tega Sword, until we see Not Taya get like a Sentai ring that's not like the you know, the previous season's like character Taya Handle. No. Bitch has the fucking King Oger ring. It's like, what the fuck? Bitch has the King Oger ring. What you doing with that? Where's the Boom Boomger ring? So he transforms into King Oger with the power of another Tega Sword, but silver. It's not the Tega Sword that we know in the beginning, which was gold. No, these are silver Tega Swords. So that would imply there may be like, you know, some things going on with the Tega Sword himself / himself, you know, and associated like rings, right? So, little interesting. But the Bryden comes in and creates like a big like mess out of like, you know, the place that Hoeru and Not Taya were at. Hoeru tries to like, you know, fend them off, and not Taya does so as well, but a big like, you know, wedding Megazord tries to kill Hoeru, but Hoeru gets like transported to another place, and that is the grave of the Tegazord, where a ring is like, where a ring is resting. The Bridens come in and try to like take the ring, but the power of the ring is too strong that one grunt gets like, you know, sucked up. So Taya grabs the ring, and he's pretty much like okay, like he's doing pretty much fine with the ring in his like, you know, hands for some odd reason. And so he goes back and tries to fight off like the invaders, until the Tegazord comes to him in his mind and asks him what is his like, you know, wish. Shout your desires and I shall grant them to you, right? Hoeru, being like the big bad like tough guy, right, says like, nah, wishes are evil, they caused something in like my childhood. But then the Tegazord says like, nah fam, you need to live. You need to live, dog. There's a reason for you to live. And so he fights the Megazord with the Tegazord. Wow, punny. in the cockpit. And what comes next is like a big like Megazord battle, but in the most, I think, like fascinating way. Bro, this is like a fighting game. I saw that scene, I'm like, yo, these are like, you know, picking like characters like in a fighting game, and you get to see like their intros before they rumble. It's set like, you know, a boxing ring, and you have like, you know, ring girls like in the back like chanting you and shit, both good and evil. But nah, I felt like some fighting game vibes in here, right? So the Tegazord actually like, you know, overcomes the evil Megazord, and Hoeru sees the people on the ground getting like beat up by the Bryden, and the first transformation of Tono Hoeru as Goju Wolf, being like the big bad wolf that he is, he howls and it echoes to the other Gozyugers that also have like Sentai like rings, or in this case they're character specific rings. They ring out like as if like a call. And so then Hoeru beats on the Bryden, you know, fantastically. It's pretty awesome. You get to see like his like wild self, you know, big like bad like tough guy, but fighting for like good. You know, one of the Bryden even says like, you know, oh, this ring is a ring of destruction. Those who wear it will, you know, see like doom and devastation. What then proceeds is the most godlike scene in like, I think, Power Rangers history. Or if you're like a fan of fighting games, it's pretty fucking sick. It's pretty fucking sick. It is a, I shit you not, a Killer Instinct Ultra Combo / Tekken like rage art. The Ring of Destruction. Literally like transcended, was a literal like fighting game like ultra combo, and I honestly like first time I watched it is like, what the fuck? Wait, dead ass? Really? Yo, what the hell is going on though? What the hell? This bitch did a fucking ultra combo on a grunt. On a fucking grunt, mind you. Like, god damn. Holy shit! And he didn't have to go that hard with like the outro. The #1 winner, Goju Wolf. Like, yo, holy shit, man. Before I saw that scene, I got kind of like spoiled with that scene. Beforehand, when I was like watching the Evo award show, I was like checking out my phone. I was like, I think it was like Pyro, my boy Pyro, who's a mod here on this channel, tagged me in, and it was like, yo, what the fuck? I didn't see it until I saw it, and I'm like, oh, this is the best Sentai ever. Oh, what is that? What is that quote? Superior Sentai. This is fucking superior Sentai status. Oh my god, they legit did like a fighting game combo. And you know what's dead ass crazy? Harada, the man who did Tekken. The man who did Tekken. I'll show you. Hold on. Even quote tweeted that shit. It's what's known as a rage dart, followed up by an Iron Fist combo.
Bruh.
Even Harada tweeted that shit, man. I'm like, yo, a Super Sentai in like Tekken, please? Yeah, that shit was fucking godlike out of like nowhere. I was like, wait, what? What? Excuse me? Hold up. So yeah, once again, it legit like cemented as like my favorite like season ever. If we're gonna get like more scenes like that, more fighting game like, you know, ultra combos like that, we're in for a good ride. I'm a fighting game fan. I'm like, this is selling me, dogs. Anyway, back to like, you know, back to like the episode after the fight. We get to see two of the Gozyugers, like, you know, planning something with like the ring contract. And then we see like Nataya practicing his guitar, because that was like his dream, you know, become a number one guitarist there is. #1 idol or something like that. And Hoedo tries to like, you know, cheer him up, saying that like, yeah, this is my dream. I will forever like wish for wishes or some shit like that. Something ambiguous, right? I have a wish now. But all of a sudden, you know, Nataya gets mad at Hoedo, right? Like, how dare you have a wish for not saying you don't like wishes? And he proceeds to like, you know, fight him with two more Gozyugers, right, watching him from like a balcony, and the episode ends. Right? So yeah, that is the whole episode of Gozyuger. It was really nice, right? There are a lot of like, you know, similarities with like the main writer, as we like, you know, said like before, with like info dumps of Gozyuger were like coming out. Yeah, the Red Ranger is pretty much like, you know, Kamen Rider 5's Takumi Inui. Right, you get like this like brash, you know, indifferent kind of like character, but has like, you know, a pure of soul type of like shit. He is not the friendliest nor the most energetic, like, you know, fucking Zenkaiger, right? But he does care for people, and, you know, is a noble person, right? Like honor, you know, playing with kids, protecting the innocent. He is a wild fighter too, like, you know, an unorthodox fighter. Just brutal, wild like stuff. He's tough as nails, like, just to be able to endure the most strongest of shits by people. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Of course, we didn't get to see like, you know, the other Gozyugers. We only saw like teases of them, so we'll probably see them in the next like episodes or something. But the lore of like, you know, the Tegasword remains shrouded in mystery, right? Where we have like two Tegaswords, one gold and one silver, where it's like, there's bound to be like something going on between there. Like, why do select people have like silver Tegaswords and Sentai rings of random different Sentai leaders, you know? So it's gotta be like, you know, something. And what's with the like the flashback with like Hoeru? Right, we saw like the flashback of Hoeru being carried away by this like young woman, and telling him to like, you know, don't. And that was like his you know, reasoning behind like, you know, not having any wishes is like, Hoeru, don't have any wishes. It's never good to have any wishes. And it looks like the locale is from the Bryden world. And we did get like scenes of like how the Bryden world like looked like from, you know, an over the top perspective. And when you put it together with like the flashback scene, it kind of like looks, you know, a little bit. Did Hoeru come from the Bryden world? Some like, you know, some like hints sprinkled out here and there. Yeah. And the Tega sword being like, you know, a resonating like, you know, a being trying to communicate with Hoeru, right? Trying to like talk to him, summon him, you know, things like that. So what does the Tega sword want? And why is he like, you know, the one being with like the Sentai rings, or with the Sentai rings? Why is there like a grave of like Megazords? So all of it, you know, thrown at us in like in the first episode, right? As far as like, you know, some of the other first episode premieres were, right? I'm trying to like think of like Boom Buncher had like a killer first episode, I would say, right? With like Taya you know, taking away like a bride from like a wedding and telling her to drive her own wheel, and it's very like comical, you know, right? It was like the start of like a comical like season, but also really cool season, you know. And we get to see like, you know, the three Boom Bunchers together, and we saw like a Megazord fight that was really awesome. And she joins the Boom Bunchers, right? So it was a tale about like her more about Mira more specifically than Taya's, but this one was about Taya. But this one was about Hoeru, right? Or just like a little bits of Hoeru, like his like character. King Oger had a lot of like setup of like the universe and the lore with like the 5 kingdoms, and like when calamity struck, right? When Gira saw Rakles, you know, trying to do villainy, he takes up the sword and tries to be like his own king and fights off the Bugnarok. Dawn Brothers' first impression was like, oh, I work as an Amazon delivery guy, but the story narrative was more on Haruka and her like, you know, dealing and her like problems and situation after being forcibly like scandaled, right, for like plagiarism. And you don't get to see much of Momotaro until like later like episodes, right? And then like, what was it, King Zenkaiger was about, I forgot like the first episode. Oh, it was like the merging of like gears, or merging of different multiverses, human world and Kai world. And then like, you know, what was it, Bokawal's like army invades, things like that. Yeah, but that was like more Kaito focused on like finding like, you know, Sentai gears. Like his parents worked in like Sentai technology or something like that. So if you think about it, it's more like, you know, like Zenkaiger, Dawn Brothers, and Zenkaiger, King Oger and Gozyuger were all like main leader focus or main like spotlight character focus, while Dawn Brothers and Boom Boomger first episodes had like, you know, secondary characters that were like focused. One was like, you know, Oni's sister Haruka, and the other was like Boon Pink. So it went back, like, you know, it's like a pattern, you know, even odd, even odd, even odd sort of stuff, right? But in terms of like, you know, the grabbing you, I'd say it was like pretty decent, you know? You get like this like mysterious, like, you know, cool main leader that fights like very like rough, that is like, you know, an eccentric personality, you know, he is a good guy at heart, so we don't know what the fuck he is until like maybe a mid-season or like a third season like reveal or something like that, right? But overall it was a pretty good episode premiere. We get to see how Hoedo is like, we get to see the transformation sequence with the Tega sword and the clapping and shit, right? That shit was pretty sick. I'm still waiting on like, you know, Amazon to get like a toy version of the Tega sword. I'm like waiting on that shit, bro. Like every time I check, there's nothing. Like I don't see it, just like old Sentai shit. Like I want some new Sentai shit, man. Come on, update your catalog, game. Come on. Update your game, Amazon. So I'll be just like waiting for the Tega sword to like come out, and we could do like a Tega sword like toy review, right? I'm waiting on that one. Probably will have to wait until maybe like April or May for that shit, which is very unfortunate. But again, first episode impression of Gozyuger, it was a fun time. I like the opening theme, I like the ending theme. I've been listening to the opening theme constantly because it has a good like vibe to it. I definitely like, you know, the fighting game like isms behind Gozyuger. So let's just like channel like some fucking energy, like Goku summoning like the spirit bomb, and send it to like, you know, Harada Tekken. Yeah, Harada-san, can we have like a Tokusatsu character in there? I know he's been like vocal on like Twitter and make like long like thesis paragraphs about so and so. I know he did one about like the Dead or Alive fiasco, right, with Itagaki and shit. But dude, I want like a Tokusatsu character, because like, bro, Tokusatsu is like no stranger of having you know, fighting game representation in their shows, right? There have been plenty of times where, you know, let's say like Kamen Rider or Super Sentai, in some scenes, some of them like take place in like in a club, and motherfuckers are like playing like Tekken 7, you know, or not Tekken 8, but Tekken 7. Exade had like, you know, a little girl who's like a gaming like prodigy, and her whole beef was that she lost a set to like main rider Exade and called her not called her a bitch, but like essentially called her like a little bitch, right? And she lost, and she vowed to take revenge after that set, right? Like Zio had like a scene of like a, you know, guy who lost the Tekken round and became super upset and consumed by evil. Kira Major had like the main yellow one of the rangers, a yellow dude that won a Tekken set because he's a godlike gamer, and he won and tried to like, you know, congratulate his opponent, but he was like super emo. He was playing Devil Jin, obviously, so he was like, ew, I shall get my revenge next time, you stupid idiot. Like, ew. Ew. So I mean, it wouldn't be that far off for like Harada to add like a Tekken character, a Tekken character, an original character, right? And have him or her be like a Kamen Rider. That would be really sick. Or a Super Sentai character. Would not be that far off, you know? And plus, you can make like Tokusatsu designs in Tekken via the customization. So they know, right? So maybe, maybe, let's see. Probably like a season 3 or some shit. But anyway, yeah, that's it for the episode review or episode impression.